Hey you, it's Jess here and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to color in this table scene that I drew for my wedding set called Hitched. It's available in my shop now. My shop is Kidnish Girl, or you can find the link in the description box. And it is just clip art that you can make things into. So we're going to start here on normal 100% time. This is just the actual time it takes for coloring in, and then we're going to get straight into some parts are 4 times and some are 2 times. So I hope it's not too annoying, but I'll be very honest, I find coloring in actually really boring. I know people, they think it's really relaxing, but for me I find it kind of frustrating because I've just done all the drawings myself and I find that really dynamic and interesting to work on, and then I just have to color in everything and I have to keep in the lines and and choosing the right colors and everything. But I hope this is an interesting video for you. I thought I would make it a bit more interesting. Instead of having music, I would have a Q&A. So I asked for some questions on Instagram the last week. So I've got a few here. Some will be drawing and some will not be drawing related. And we'll get straight into the questions. I'll answer as many as I can because the video is not too long. As you can see, this takes me forever to color in. But the first question I have here is from Abby Marie Plans, and she asks, where do you pull inspiration from? So a lot of the times, when I try and think of collections to do, a lot of times they'll just pop into my head. Like I'll be sitting around and I'll be looking at Tumblr or Facebook or whatever, or watching a TV show, and I'll just think of a cool idea. Maybe a lot of it's to do with the seasons as well. I have to draw it seasonally. So I've been trying to do like what's a good set in summer, or I have a request list on my Instagram which I probably have to revive because it's a fair bit old now. But I do take requests. And then oftentimes when I think of like a theme, I'll get this sort of an image in my head of what I would like it to be, if it's really inspirational to me. And then what I'll do is I'll go to Pinterest, which most artists use these days, I believe, to look up references and maybe try and find some more inspiration there to sort of suit the ideas that I've already made in my head, because I do like my art to look a bit more professional, a bit more realistic. That's kind of what I'm going for. Realistic but stylized in my own way. And so using references to draw from is really useful in that sense. And sometimes it guides what I end up doing, And Abby also asks, what are your favorite movies? One of my favorite movies. I love Kevin Smith movies. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers is probably one of my all-time favorites. Love all the Disney animation films. Oh, so many. I love sci-fi. I love 2001. I love all of Alien. I love, as much as I hate Johnny Depp, I love Pirates of the Caribbean films. I just think they're really fun. Love Star Wars. I'm kind of just like a huge nerd for a lot of films, but I also like some more normal films here and there. I really loved Her. That's a recent one I really loved. So it really depends, but I do love watching movies. I like the DC ones. That's kind of a overall selection there. Rachel Peachy Panda Design Co. asked me what clothing style is your favorite to draw, i.e. casual, formal, preppy, sporty. Oh, you can see here Heidi's trying to steal my pen accessory. But what's clothing style I like to draw? I think I like to draw, I don't get to draw this in art until, well, Halloween's coming up, so hopefully I can get to do more. But I really like alternative styles. That's kind of how I would like to dress. Like 90s grungy, gothy, alternative, witchy, but I don't get to draw that much at the moment. But also just, I don't know, clothing styles are hard, but I think those are really fun and lots of details you can put in, sort of alternative styles. And Rachel also asked, what's one clip art that you've started to draw but haven't been able to get right? I think that was bicycle. I started drawing a girl with a bicycle and it's like half colored in for my picnic season set, which I abandoned. I do actually have abandoned art for most of my sets. But the bicycle was really hard. I mean, wheelchairs were hard, but I think it's just getting all the details and the spokes and everything. I could probably do a bicycle now that I've done like 2 wheelchairs, which are similar, I think. But yeah, just sort of the more mechanical things. I've always been more of a person drawer, so everything that's not a person is really challenging, to be honest. But I've worked on it, and sometimes it takes hours of redrawing, but I get it done, and I'm really proud of myself for a lot of the things that I drew. I mean, I found these chairs challenging too, which is why I like copy pasted them once I did one of them. Let's have a look, see. The question's from Paper Milk Denise. She said, how many cats do you want, and is Heidi moving with you because I'm moving to Finland? How many cats? At one time I did actually have 4 cats. We had 3 boys and a girl, and 2 of them were already like together. They were brothers, but then we introduced an older cat and introduced a younger cat. And it was kind of it's a bit chaotic having 4. It's not too bad when you have 4 people living in a house, because it was my mum, dad, Lachlan and I. So we all kind of had a cat we looked over. But yeah, I would like a second cat, maybe in Finland. But yeah, so I've had 4, so I know what that's like. But I don't know if I might be getting too lazy to have more than Heidi, because she's a demanding little baby. And then the other one is Heidi moving with you? And yes, she will be. Lachlan is moving this year, and I'm moving next year, and she'll be moving with me. So I believe Lachlan's going to come back, help me finish up everything here, and we'll shove Heidi on a plane. And she'll be flying. I mean, she's already flown before, but that was like an 2-hour flight. So obviously it's going to be hugely different to the other side of the world. But it'll be worth it in the end, because we love our baby, and she is a Norwegian forest cat, so I think she'll be fine with living in Finland, because it's kind of like her homeland. But yeah, we definitely couldn't give up Heidi. She is our baby. I also got asked by Casey Plants, did you take art classes, or were you a doodler that expanded your skills? I have taken art classes. I did art all the way through year 12, so I did senior year art, and I did the theoretical. We had theoretical or practical, so I did the whole theoretical stuff. And I had to do a whole lot of projects for that. And then I also started art school, and I did about a year and a half of it before I switched over to history. So I did do art classes and things. Before art school, I also did more vocational level of art school, so really I did 2 years of art school, which did actually teach me a lot of methods and like just the patience and the guidance to just keep drawing. Like, if the bottle doesn't look right, just keep drawing it and eventually it will look better. So that's a big thing that I learned in art school. So I did take art classes, and I think drawing was probably the best one that I ever took. She also asked, will you please be forever friends with SPC Plans, because your collaborations make my favorite sticker kits? Well, I hope we will. Hopefully we don't meet at the planner party and Andrea's like, ew, why did I like you? why did I like your art? But I think it'll be fine. I mean, you know, as long as I draw things that she's interested in, she'll probably use them, so that's pretty good. I will try. Then the Procrasti Planner asks, will you ever make your own kits? Waiting for your stores to pick up your art and trying to get decent shipping to Australia is agonizing. So when I the first time I started making clip art, I did make kits. I made 2 kits and I made about 10 of each, which all sold, which was nice. But I just can't do it. It's just, making stickers just not for me. Not for sale anyway. Because I never had issues with my printer or my silhouette until I started selling things. Then suddenly everything would go wrong. And it's just too much stress for me. I don't know, maybe I'd have time in Finland, but I don't know if I want to. It would take a lot of time away from drawing as well, which I already don't have a lot of time to do. And I guess the only thing is that a lot of Australian shops have not picked up my art. I do tag Australian tags, so I don't know, maybe, hopefully more overseas shops will start picking up my art, but to do with shipping to Australia, a lot of Canadian shops have started taking up my art, like Murdoch Talks, so I would definitely check her out because the shipping is a lot nicer. But I know how annoying it could be, and then of course soon I'll be in another country, so. But yeah, I don't plan to make my own stickers, I can't do it. Then my friend Rachel asked, how much are you going to miss me when you move to Finland? And is the rumor true, which I've just made up, that I am the best person you've ever met? So Rachel is my friend. If you watch my plan with me, she's a friend I usually get lunch with a lot, and we do PhD together. And yes, I will miss you a lot, Rachel, if you're watching. Yeah, this will be sad to, I'll have, no friends. Although I've already been messaged by a couple of Finnish planners. So that's really nice, but yeah, it'll be weird. Not, knowing anyone, especially as I'll be working from home. So it's not like I have a huge chance to make friends, but we'll see. I will definitely miss my Rachel. Definitely my bestest friend. Then Chelly Bean Plans asked, how did you get into planning? How did I get? I was watching a lot of beauty and lifestyle videos in 2015. Lachlan went to Singapore for 3 months, and I was kind of like, I'm very alone. I'm going to start watching YouTube. I actually didn't watch YouTube at all until 2015. I'm that kind of old person. But, so I was watching a lot of beauty and lifestyle, not Elle Fowler. I didn't find her until planning. But I was watching this, I can't even remember her name anymore, but she's not really a planner, but she had an Erin Condren, and she was doing sticker planning in it. And I was like, that's really interesting. I'm going to keep looking this up. And then I found Andrea from Scribble Prints Co. and all the shops. The first shops I bought from were Sweet Kawi Design, Caress Press, and Scribble Prints Co. That's kind of how I kind of just fell into it, and I was like, I didn't have a lot of hobbies at the time. I was doing Asian beauty skincare, and you know that only goes so far, but this is way more creative, and I loved how there's art, so I just kind of fell straight into it. Stickers are just so fun. As you can see here, we're getting close to the end. I've filled everything in. It's still 10 minutes, but we finally filled in all the colors, so now we can actually do some detail work. I already did the fairy lights across the table and top at the beginning. Do I have any more questions? Do. As you can see, it takes a while to do this coloring in. Oh yeah, Casey Plans also asked, is it daunting thinking about moving from different continents? Language barrier, shipping a household, adjusting to a new lifestyle. I hope I didn't make it more daunting. Well, this is when it had a whole error thing, and I had to sometimes Procreate crashes. It's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely daunting. I don't feel scared just yet. At first I was kind of in shock that Lachlan got that job. I was like, what? I think we both were. But we've both been to Finland 4 times. We've been to Helsinki and Turkey. We like to go to Europe as much as possible. So in that sense, it's not too daunting because I kind of know what it's like, but of course living someplace is completely different. But since we met each other, we always knew we wanted to get out and get to Europe, basically. We do have UK passports, which is still good up until, I don't know, whenever Brexit goes through, which hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't, so I can, because that's how I'm going to be staying in Finland as an EU resident. The language barrier is daunting, but as I said, we've already been there, so we kind of know what some languages like. I think Aulu will be not as acceptable as, like, accepting of English as Helsinki is, obviously. But I think it should be alright, and we've been into Finnish and Finnish bands, and oh my god, look at us stepping on my iPad. And their cat paws do register on here, so sometimes she'll do a little drawing. But yeah, anyway, we've listened to a lot of Finnish bands, we love Finnish films, so we've listened to the language a lot, and I do know the rules for how to pronounce it, because the rules for pronouncing are actually pretty easy. It's just learning Finnish, which is a hard language. Like, I've heard even Finnish people say it's hard for them. So it is a bit of a barrier, but I think English is fairly common there, and most of the people that Lachlan will be working with are from other European countries and one American. So we get a lot of help from them, I think. And then shipping the household, basically what we're doing is trying to get rid of almost everything. We're just going to be taking our hobby things, so my planner stuff. Lachlan's going to take a couple of his guitars, a couple of his pedals, some of his music stuff, but we're going to get rid of everything else. Maybe just take like 2 suitcases each and him his guitars. And that's really it, other than Heidi, of course. Pretty much going to start fresh there, and it's actually pretty good because I've been interested in more minimalist living and more environmentally friendly living, and I think this will be a really good way to go. When we get there, we can really limit the stuff that we have, because we have way too much stuff. And I think some of it will be able to put in storage. I don't know. We don't know if we're ever coming back to Australia at this point. But, you know, there are options there. But mostly we're going to get rid of everything. Pretty much just going to take my planning, my filming, and my clothes stuff across. That's about it. My computers. I have only laptops. We do have PCs, but we're going to get rid of them here. So that's not too bad. We're not going to be freighting anything. Other than Heidi, of course. But, so I think I'm trying to be realistic about it. And it's really nice, sort of, it's a chance for a fresh start, you know, on life. So I think we're actually really excited to do it. We really want to be up in Europe, and we can do weekend trips to other European countries. We definitely want to go, Lachlan has a lot of friends in different countries from uni, so we want to go to southern France, we want to go to Greece, Italy, all these places, so it'd be really awesome. His best friend lives in Berlin, so we can go there easily. Yeah, so I'm not daunted, it's a lot of stuff, but you know what, we're planners, so I'm gonna have a lot of good planning in my planner soon. Sorry, let me have a look. Plush paperies. She asked where I gather inspiration for artwork. Again, I already answered this at the beginning, but a lot of it's to do with Pinterest, Tumblr, just media in general. When did you start drawing? I mean, I've drawn all the time. You know, since I was a little kid, I was definitely one of those, the kid that draws all the time. I think I've answered this in another video, really long, drawn out, but I just drew all the time. And that's really all I was passionate about. Your favorite TV series and why? Like currently running or over? I think my favorite TV series that is finished is Twin Peaks. It's groundbreaking. It's amazing. It's campy, but it's just interesting. I loved The Return. Episode 8 is probably the best episode of television ever in the history of television. Definitely highly recommend Twin Peaks. If you can't get through season 2, I would just skip to the last like 3 episodes just so you can get into the return of what happens, and obviously watch the film. But yeah, Twin Peaks, and then currently running, it is probably a 3-way, and oh my god, I'm such a CW trash. It's a 3-way between iZombie, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and Supernatural. And I just think they're really fun, and they do different interesting things. I highly recommend all 3 of those. I don't know why, I never get tired of those shows. Even though Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and iZombie are ending next year, but oh well. At least I get to finish their stories. And then she also asked your favorite book and why. Okay, my all-time favorite book, I've always said since I read it, was A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce, which I know is probably super wanky, but it spoke to me, that book. I mean, it has a lot of really boring, like crazy sermons that he has to go through, but it's like part of the journey. There's just this huge cathartic release 3/4 of the way through the book that is just so beautifully written and so moving that yeah. And I suppose it helps that I'm like, I too want to be an artist, although I don't relate to having, getting prostitutes at 15, but I don't know, there's something about that book. A lot of the times when I read books, I'm in it for the language and just words I really love, like on a textual something, level. It's just really weird, kind of like visual arts, but with words. So that's why I really love that book. And then book series, that's why, like young adult, which people seem to be more into in this community, is Tamara Pierce. Anything by her I love. Probably my favorite is Protector of the Small, because she's my favorite of all the lady knights and things. But that's what I was always reading when I grew up. But as you can see, we're pretty much done. Going through showing you how many layers I've got. I do everything in layers and oh, am I adding something? What am I doing? Oh yeah, I was thinking like, should I put a floor in? And it just didn't work out. I couldn't think of much more to do with this. But of course, if you look at Scribble Prints Co., Andrea has already made a set with it, and it looks amazing. She added in the floor and the background to this scene, which were also drawn by me. They're from another set, but they look amazing. So she added more to my creativity, which is the cool thing about other people using my sets other than me, because they have their own ideas about what the art could look like and how they can use it and blend it with other things. So I was yes, I'm really happy about that. But I think we come to the end. I've pretty much answered every question that I got. I hope this was a bit more interesting to just listen to me blabber on over the top of colouring in. So we got the finished piece here. I did add in another colour variation later on, but I'm super happy with this. I know a lot of people do the chairs with like the Mr. and Mrs., but I thought the flower bouquet arrangement was really pretty and also made it a bit more general, because I included gay and lesbian couples in this set, holding hands. So I wanted everything to be a bit more gender neutral, so I think, 2 husbands could sit there happily with their beautiful flowers. So that's why I made it a bit more general. So it kind of like with the black background, it kind of fades out. Here's have a look at another piece for the cake that I did. I did add glitter later on, but that is art for the wedding set called Hitched. Definitely check it out on my shop, and if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye!